Hey everyone, you are now listening to Flip the Switch, How to Find the Light in Every Dark Shadow on the Clear Source Radio Network. And as always, thank you so much for listening.
Standing at the corner.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me once again. You are now listening to Flip the Switch, How to Find the Light in Every Dark Shadow, part of the Clear Source Radio Network, where people inspire people. I'm your host, and my name is Melanie Rogers, and I thank you for joining me. Okay, so let me see. Before I get to tonight's show, 5 love languages. Let me see. I hope you had a wonderful week. I'll catch you up really quickly on my week. Let me see. Last time I talked to everybody, it was catching you up, the aftermath of taking a week off and doing my own little personal, I guess, soul retreat, kind of. A little recharge, regenerate, reinvent. What was it called? It was release, which was a big part of it. Release, recharge, and reinvent. That's what it was. So anyway, since that happened, I think the last time I talked to you, I was telling you how much I got done, how much I really worked on balance, and how much I was able to just deal with a lot of things going on in my head and everything else, which I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start doing that pretty often, at least a few times during the year. I think completely disconnect like that and attack areas of life that I may feel pinned down, or I may feel that are building up or whatever. So that was really therapeutic for me. Now, mind you, I went up and down like a yo-yo, and I had different things that were really nagging at me. So of course, it wasn't all completely cured in 1 week, but it really, really did help. So if anybody is interested in doing that, go back and listen to last week's show, or even the show part 1, which was a few weeks before that. And you can always listen in the archives. I don't tell people this enough to make sure that you do know where to go if you want to hear all my past shows from the last 2 years, even way back when I had some amazing guests, which I will in the future, of course. But you can go to my show page on Facebook, and it's Flip the Switch. You can look up Flip the Switch. Shoot, I always do this. I randomly talk about it, and I always forget to look up the actual. I want to make sure I get the address right. So while I'm looking that up, I have a YouTube page that houses all of my shows, and we have some changes coming onto the actual Clear Source Radio website, just to let you know. So I know in the future, I don't know exactly how much of it, because it's just being implemented, how much I should even tell you about until it is implemented, but I know there's going to be some more features on Clear Source Radio website in the future, to where you can find more of our shows, all the different host shows by choice, instead of just clicking on live and hoping that your favorite host and your favorite show is on there. I'm losing my voice again. This one's going to be a struggle, so hopefully I'll work through it. Okay, my Facebook show page is, of course, www.facebook.com/FlipTheSwitch424. And you'll see pink banner. That's where I have I make them all into events to give people a heads up and a little description on what I plan on talking about, or what guests I plan on having on and such, and keep people up to date on that. So that page is a good page to go to. You can also go to the clearsourceradio.com page on Facebook, and you can see updates on all the different shows. A lot of the hosts put their shows on, or at least the events or whatever, on that page. And like I said, in the future, look at clearsourceradio.com itself, and you can find a whole lot more. And go to, let me see, I'm sorry, I'm still trying to pull up websites, I apologize. And I do want to get to tonight's show, because it's going to take a little bit, and I'm hoping that I have the vocals to be able to do that, because I did not realize how much my throat was stressing. I'll tell you, part of the reason it's probably still stressing is I went to a Bon Jovi concert. I absolutely love Bon Jovi, and that's the second time I've been to their concert, and he's amazing. So I know a lot of that, not even singing, but I'll tell you, I'm realizing I have a harder and harder time recovering anymore, even when I strain my voice for any reason. So, okay, now I'm back to my YouTube page. My YouTube page has all of my episodes very neatly housed in order. So if you'd like to go there and click on my channel, follow my channel or whatever you do, it's youtube.com. No. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time finding this, so bear with me here. I want to get that out first because I always do forget that. For whatever reason, it is not, no matter where I click, it's not pulling up my address. My channel. Okay, there. I'm sorry, I'm not really good at that. Okay. Melanie L. Rogers Flip the Switch. And you know what? I knew that. So I'm sorry. Melanie L. Rogers Flip the Switch. You will see the same pink banner with my face on it for Flip the Switch. All right, now that I'm done with all that. Okay, I'm going to get into tonight's show. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes while I give you the background. I'm going to tell you if you would like to participate. These are quizzes. I'm going to read through the 5 love languages quiz. And if I have time, I'm also going to go to, there's a couple of other quizzes that I'm going to tell you about. But first off, so that you can go and you can get what's needed, I need you to get a piece of paper, pencil, pen, whatever. So if you'd like to participate or even get your computer, so I'm going to obviously give you the website. I would never take credit for somebody else's work, but I do believe that it's really interesting to get this information out there. So piece of paper, pen, pencil, computer, whatever. And while you do that, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on how I came up with tonight's show. Now, following along, you know, I've been going through life, actually. Life, it's had its ups and downs. It's been very intense for a while. And what's coming out of that is really great lessons. I absolutely love that. As difficult as different parts of life can be, seeing how everything's interconnected and learning more about myself than anything else has been really fascinating. So along those same lines, the whole love area, you know, of course, that's on my mind. I'm looking for videos here. This is so weird. I apologize. I'm trying to get to, there's a person who is on Facebook. Now, with everything that I've already been experiencing and talking about and finding it fascinating, things like the personality typing that I already talked about in one of my past shows, and how interesting the personality typing might be to assess your relationship with others, romantic and otherwise. So with that being said, this fell in perfect time, because what happened once again was I was so busy, you know this, the last week or so doing my stuff, that all of a sudden I expelled all my energy. That's what I started telling you, by the way. I do have a point here, so I'm not just going everywhere. So when I expelled all of that energy, it was time for me to just rest. My brain rested, everything rested, and I kept thinking, I don't have a show concept. I'm not back to guest quite yet because I don't have my equipment set up for it, and I don't have the time right now to coordinate and such. It'll come to me. Maybe I'll just do a past show once again, because that's, you know, what's been happening. So I let it go with that. I don't struggle like I used to, you know this. And all of a sudden I went on Facebook and I see a new video that's out. I watch videos from, I've discovered, and I'm trying to pull it up because, of course, anytime I go to look for this stuff, I should have it beforehand, but I forgot. Then I can't find it. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, so while I'm continuing to look at that, there's a guy, I just want to make sure I get his last name right. His name is Jay. I post some of his videos. He's a very inspirational person. I know he's got a great story behind all of his inspiration as well. Now, of course, this is crazy. You'd think it was Mercury retrograde, because right now I'm almost there and my phone freezes up. I'm just desperately trying to find the name of this person to give him credit. Give him credit for, you know, kind of inspiring me for this week's show and kind of getting my brain moving for this week's show. Okay. I'm going. Oh, this is ridiculous. Everything is just going so slowly. I think his name is Jay Seta. As soon as I can get down there, I've posted a couple of his videos. As soon as I can find one of his videos, I will pass that along. So anyway, he's a very, Jay Shetty, there it is. Jay Shetty, Shetty. If you look him up on Facebook, he's amazing. He's just that very inspirational person. He's internationally known at this point. I know he's got a story behind it. I saw one of his videos where he was explaining a little something about his shyness. He was talking about a video with fear. And that's how I learned that he overcame a lot of fear just by speaking, and now he speaks to millions of people. So anyway, his videos are very inspiring. And I saw his one video. Like I said, I have this clear frame of mind, like, okay, I don't even know what to talk about this week. If it doesn't come to me, I'll do a past show. I'm not going to force it. And he did a video randomly about the 5 love languages. Now, this is something that my coworker a couple of years ago was telling me about, and I thought it was really fascinating, and I meant to look it up, but in typical fashion, I did not, because I wasn't in dating. I wasn't interested in the moment. I was not actively in the dating world. My heart was not open to it. So I thought, well, that's really fascinating, but who cares? So I never ended up actually looking it up and taking their quiz. With that being said, I saw that video from Jay Shetty, and it got my brain going. And that's what happens when I do my show lately, is my brain starts going and it starts completely interlinking with everything I've been talking about. Now I'm to the point where I want to do I'm not going to do it, of course, I don't have time, but I would love to do some sort of dating site or whatever, and experiment on using so many questions. And here's what's funny is that I don't know, some of those dating sites that really have you answer a lot of questions and do an interview on you, they may incorporate all this. I may be talking about a concept that's already done, but how interesting would it be to do like a dating site where the questionnaire had everything to do with your empathic level, which I talked about before in that show about the personality typing, the degree of empathy you have, what kind of empath kind of person you are, and your sensitivities, because we all have them. They vary in different degrees. We all have gifts in that way. We just, not everybody knows how or chooses to use them and such. Also combine that with the personality typing, which I talked about, the Myers-Briggs personality typing. And now combine that as well with the 5 love languages. And a couple of other quizzes that I have, and I'm going to try to get to tonight, that's part of the love language video. I'm trying to get Rocky out behind me. I'm sorry. So distracted. Okay, we're going to get going because I don't have that much time to get all this in. So if you have your pencil and your paper, if you have your computer and you'd like to pull this up, I give credit where credit's due. Pull up www.5lovelanguages.com. Now, the author, Gary Chapman, Gary, Chapman, I plan on hopefully getting his book one of these days. I did go online and took the test. That's what I'm going to give you tonight. I'm going to really quickly, I'm probably not going to take my time like you should when you do the test yourself, but I went through these quizzes, and what these quizzes do, interestingly enough, is they tell you, and the concept behind it is really interesting, and this is something I needed to know. Combine all of this with the Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, by the way, in how what we tend to do with love, and I'm talking not just romance, I'm talking about family, friends, everything else. When you're talking about dealing with other people, is we tend to expect from them what we need, our personality types, our needs. We have different needs. Different people have different needs, different triggers, I guess, in feeling needed, wanted, loved, and such, respected, everything else. So I'm starting to realize how interesting and important. I'm going to take some coffee here, mostly to clear up my throat. Hopefully it'll help. So anyway, I find it really interesting, the fact that I fall into this. And this is what's so funny, is that I keep falling into this kind of stuff, is I continue to react to other people and how they treat me based on, or I treat other people, that's it. I tend to treat other people when I guess feel like I'm giving love. Like I said, friends, family, etc. How I would want to be treated. The things that, what I think they need, because I'm also a fixer, and what I think that they would appreciate, what I think deep inside they crave, And there's a certain part of that is deep inside. Those are things that I crave. But that's what's funny, and that's what we learn about from Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and also from this love language thing, is that it's important for us to assess ourselves. In this particular love language thing, what's important is for us to assess ourselves and understand what it is that we respond to. What is most important to us? What makes us feel loved? What makes us feel... I'm having a really hard time talking, I'm sorry. What makes us feel accepted, respected, and such. And then if you're in a relationship, and I'm talking friendship, relationship, romantically, family, and all this kind of stuff, and you're struggling trying to get across to the other person and communicate correctly and everything else, it's actually very important to try to assess, or even have them take the test as well, and understand what they respond to, because we may be doing one thing to them because that's what we crave in return, and we think that that's what they want as well, because, I think this is just human nature, where we all just assume that everybody wants to be treated the way we want to be treated, and I'm really starting to find out that that's not the case. Different things are different to different people, And a lot of that is based on our makeup. A lot of that is based on our experiences. You have somebody, well, I don't even want to go into examples right now because I'm getting too far behind already, but for different reasons, different people respond differently to different qualities, different forms of nurturing. Okay? This opened my eyes a lot, and it was really interesting. And what really opened my eyes, I will tell you, is taking this quiz. I would have assumed that I was a certain love language. Taking the quiz made me realize I'm a different love language, which made me realize, of course, in my deep mind, I started assessing, well, why did I think that I was this type of person? And I started thinking about it instead of reacting, emotionally to it, and realized that I'm a certain type of person when it comes to what I crave. I block what I crave. How interesting is that? I block what I crave, and that's because of lessons learned in the past. So that's a very, very, very good next step in releasing whatever is hindering inside with me. So, I'm hesitating here a little bit because I want to read through all of this stuff, and I am really, really struggling with my voice. Wow. I really feel like I can't talk. I apologize once again. This may be a communication thing. This may just simply be my voice is strained from the concert, which it hasn't really been the last couple of days, so it's interesting that it's starting right now. So maybe just talking about love. Always, I tend to close up, and I'm trying really hard not to. So, all right. Now, if you are on that website and you so choose to take the test, you can do the PDF. That's what I did, is I uploaded the PDF thing. That's what I'm going to do right now. First, I'm going to tell you what the 5 love languages are. Like I said, this is from Gary Chapman. I'm not taking credit for this. Number 1 is words of affirmation. Some people respond best to words of affirmation, which is this language uses words to affirm other people. Number 2 is acts of service. For these people, actions speak louder than words. Okay. Number 3, receiving gifts. For some people, what makes them feel most loved is to receive a gift. Okay. Now, that part, a lot of people might look at that right off the bat and think shallow. I think they're meaning it. I think he's meaning it more in a deeper respect, that somebody who would take their time out and buy them something specific, give them something that they can actually see and hold, and everything else to hold on to is special to them. So I don't think that's, a hugely shallow thing. I don't think that that's what it's meant to be. So if you end up being a number 3 receiving gifts type of person, don't be afraid to acknowledge that. Number 4, quality time. This language is all about giving the other person your undivided attention. And number 5 is physical touch. To this person, nothing speaks more deeply than appropriate touch. Okay, those are the 5 love languages. Now I'm going to really quickly pull up. If you go to that website, you'll see where you can pull up the actual quiz. I took the quiz. I'm not going to give you every answer that I did through this whole thing. I will give you an overall assessment of what I figured out about myself, which really surprised me. So, now, I'm going to read these, and they each give you two options. In each option, I won't read which one is a love language, which love language is which for these options, but don't overthink it, because here's what I did. When I was overthinking it, I can overthink anything in the point that I'm a very deep person. I can read something and it says, what's more meaningful to you when somebody does this or somebody does that? Well, I'll look so deep into it and be like, okay, well, it all depends on the person. And like, I know this particular person will, constantly do this or whatever, so it's not really sincere. Or this particular, to me, everything depends on the sincerity. I've realized that. Okay, with this, it depends on the sincerity. It depends on the person and the sincerity and the situation, all that. Yes. A lot of people out there are going to do the same thing that I do. So these quizzes are really hard for people like me because there aren't any clear-cut answers. But what it says, it actually says to allow yourself 10 to 15 minutes to complete this profile and take it when you're relaxed and try not to rush through it. You're probably going to have to rush through it while I'm on here. That's why I suggest you go back and take it when we're done. I really hope I can make it all the way through because I really, really am having a hard time talking here. Excuse me. All right. Like I said, I'm not going to give you my answers individually, but I will tell you what I assess myself to be, and it may, it may open you up to understand that you could assess yourself differently than you truly feel inside, and that's what I came up with. Number 1, just go by the one that resonates with you the most in each statement without overlooking it. Okay, number 1, it's more meaningful to me when either someone I love sends me, it's A, someone I love sends me a loving note, text, email for no reason, no special reason, or E, and it is important to put the A or the E, by the way. That's actually what you need. So I said I wasn't going to tell you what those are, but you need to know those. Or E, I hug someone I love. Okay, number 1, it's more meaningful to me when A, someone I love sends me a loving note, text, email for no reason, or E, I hug someone I love. Okay, number 2, it's more meaningful to me when B, I can spend alone time with someone I love, just us, or D, as in Delta, someone I love does something practical to help me out. Okay, number 3. It's more meaningful to me when C, someone I love gives me a little gift as a token of our love of concern for each other. B, I get to spend uninterrupted leisure time with those I love. Number 4, it's more meaningful to me when D, someone I love does something unexpected for me to help me with a project. Or E, I can share an innocent touch with someone I love. Number 5, it's more meaningful to me when E, someone I love puts their arm around me in public. Or C, someone I love surprises me with a gift. I should have said this before we started. I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but you're supposed to visualize. Obviously, visualize a specific person, visualize, romantic partner, somebody you care about, somebody you love, somebody in your family, things like that. Now, some of these are going to lean more toward romance. Some of them are going to be family specifically, but you're supposed to visualize. That made it easier for me because I couldn't just do that blankly out there. I had to visualize somebody specifically and which would mean more to me in that moment. So, okay, we're going to go on to number 6. It's more meaningful to me when B, I'm around someone I love, even if we're not really doing anything. Or E, I can be comfortable holding hands, high-fiving, or putting my arm around someone I love. Like, which of all these answers are gonna nurture you most? Which of them are going to make you feel more validated in love? That's how I looked at it. Number 7, it's more meaningful to me when C, I receive a gift from someone I love, or A, I hear from someone I love that they love me. Number 8, it's more meaningful to me when E, I sit close to someone I love, or A, I'm complimented by someone I love for no apparent reason. And I'm going to break one more second and tell you, I just had an idea, and I think I think I may actually go and do this. I may actually think of specific people. One would be maybe someone romantically I'm interested in at some point. One may be a family member or different family members. One may be, different friends or whatever. And I may take this quiz specifically for each one. And I bet if I do that, I'll have a different outcome for different people, as well as different relationships, family, friendships, romance, whatever. So that may be a good idea as well. And may narrow it down and make it easier to answer the questions. So, number 9, it's more meaningful to me when B, I get the chance to just, quote, hang out with someone I love. Or C, I unexpectedly get small gifts from someone I love. Okay, now here's an example of why I think that that's going to be important, picturing different people with this, because there's different people that this answer changes for with me. Number 10, it's more meaningful to me when A, I hear someone I love tell me I'm proud of you. Or D, someone I love helps me with a task. See, now how that would change with me is if I was thinking of like my dad or my mom, A, them telling me I'm proud of you would mean more than helping me with something, because that's their natural tendency anyways. We always work together with different things, different tasks. D, someone I love helping me with a task would probably be somebody I, love on a romantic level or even friendship, whatever. So that's where it would probably differ. Now, number 11, it's more meaningful for me when B, I get to do things with someone I love. Or A, I hear supportive words from someone I love. Number 12, it's more meaningful to me when D, someone I love does things for me instead of just talking about doing nice things. Or E, I feel connected to someone I love through a hug. "13, it's more meaningful to me when A, I hear praise from someone I love. Or C, someone I love gives me something that shows they were really thinking about me." Number 14, it's more meaningful to me when B, as in Bravo, I'm able to just be around someone I love. Or E, I get a back rub from someone I love. Okay, 15, and we're halfway through. It's more meaningful to me when A, someone I love reacts positively to something I've accomplished. Or D, someone I love does something for me that I know they don't particularly enjoy. And if you think about these different questions, there's so much in each question that I can completely see through. Some of them are, and that's where I say different people, that you're thinking about, there's going to be different reactions, because a lot of it depends on what comes natural to them, what is their fallback. Some's going to be, or at least this is the way I always look at it, when one answer is going to show that they've gone a little further than the other answer, and that means more that they're trying harder, which means a lot. So like I said, you can really look into this, and of course I do, but I think that that's why these particular questions are worded the way they are. Okay, now number 16, it's more meaningful to me when E, I'm able to be close physical proximity to someone I love. Or B, I sense someone I love showing interest in the things I care about. 17, it's more meaningful to me when D, someone I love works on special projects with me that I have to complete. Or C, someone I love gives me an exciting gift. 18. It's more meaningful to me when A, I'm complimented by somebody I love on my appearance. Or B, someone I love takes the time to listen to me and really understand my feelings. Number 19. It's more meaningful to me when E, I can share a meaningful touch in public with someone I love. Or D, someone I love offers to run errands for me. Number 20. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love does something special for me to help me out. C, I get a gift that someone I love put thought into choosing. (21) It's more meaningful to me when B, once again, B, bravo. Someone I love doesn't check their phone while they're talking with each other. Or D, someone I love goes out of their way to do something that relieves pressure on me. (22) It's more meaningful to me when C, I can look forward to a holiday because I'll probably get a gift from someone I love. Or A, I hear the words, I appreciate you from someone I love. (23) It's more meaningful to me when someone I love and haven't seen in a while thinks enough of me to give me a little gift. Or D, someone I love takes care of something I'm responsible to do that I feel too stressed to do at the time. (24) It's more meaningful to me when B, someone I love doesn't interrupt me when I'm talking. I laugh because anyone who's listened to my show, many shows in the past, know that's a trigger spot for me. So B, someone I love doesn't interrupt me when I'm talking. Or C, gift giving is an important part of the relationship with someone I love. I think everyone knows my answer on that one. Number 25. It's more meaningful to me when D, someone I love helps me out when they know I'm already tired. Or B, I get to go somewhere while spending time with someone I love. (26) It's more meaningful to me when E, someone I love touches my arm or shoulder to show their care or concern. Or C, someone I love gives me a little gift that they picked up in the course of their normal day. Number 27. It's more meaningful to me when A, someone I love says something encouraging to me. Or B, I get to spend time in a shared activity or hobby with someone I love. 28. It's more meaningful to me when C, someone I love surprises me with a small token of appreciation. Or E, I'm touching someone I love frequently to express our friendship. Number 29. It's more meaningful to me when D, someone I love helps me out, especially if I know they're already busy. Or A, I hear someone I love tell me that they appreciate me. And 30, and we're going to wrap that up. It's more meaningful to me when E, I get a hug from someone whom I haven't seen in a while. Or A, I hear someone I love tell me how much I mean to him or her. Okay, now when you're done with that, what you need to do is go down the list, write this down. Write A, and then put words of affirmation. Write B, quality time. C, receiving gifts. D, acts of service. And E, physical touch. Now what you need to do is go down for A, count all the A's, put the number beside that. Continue down with all 5 of the love languages and just tally how many A's, B's, C's, D's, and E's you have. And then obviously you're going to go and the majority on there is basically your love language. What is more meaningful for you? Now it may be overall depending on how you took, how basic you are in the way, not good or bad. I don't mean that in a good or bad way. In what you require from people to show love, what you get more out of how somebody expresses love to you, whether it's any kind of relationship, or if you're like me and it kind of depends on the person, it depends on the type of relationship, that may vary. So that's why I suggest going back and taking it with different people in mind and different groups of people like family, friends, romance, all that kind of stuff. Now, what was really interesting, and I will tell you this, and here's why I think it's so interesting, is that I would have guessed that I would be number 1 would have been quality time for me. Spending time with somebody, even though, well, no. Actually, no, now that I think about it, let me see. Let me read down these again. Physical. Okay. I would have assumed for me, it would have been acts of service, because acts of service, doing things for me or helping me with different things kind of shows, to me in my mind, that shows dedication. That's going out of your way to help me with something which is important to me, which shows me a lot. I would have assumed that would have been my number 1. Okay. I would have assumed past then that I would have gone to words of affirmation, somebody continuing to tell me, that I'm important to them, because yeah, that's an area I apparently over time have realized that with specific people, I know I'm an important person. I know I'm a good person. I have a lot of self-love. But when it comes to different people and friendships, family, even, romance, all that kind of stuff, I need you to, not constantly, but I need those words of affirmation. I need to know, because I'm a person that follows what you say. If you say it, I take it very literally, which is something I'm trying to work on, because I take things too literally to where, I take things so literally. Words of affirmation, I would have assumed would be my number 2. And then from there, I would have assumed that quality time, and I only say that I enjoy quality of time, of course. I want to spend that time with those people I care about, but I need a lot of alone time myself as being an empath. So that's why I didn't put it so high on the list mentally. And then past there, I would have thought physical touch, because, physical touch. I would have put receiving gifts as last, because it's the idea behind gifts. I'm not a person, because I was looking at it in that way. I wasn't really looking at it as sentimental as much as I was looking at it as just being a person who wants things. Okay, I was looking at it more materialistically when I was thinking about it before I took the test. And then reading the different things and really putting my heart into the answers and thinking, okay, from this person, how special would that be for me? So that's the order I would have put. Now, this is what really surprised me. This shocked me. The number 1 thing I crave and I block, and I know why I block it, is physical touch. That blew me away when I actually responded to most of these scenarios. There's so many. 9. Okay, I have 9 answers were physical touch. And that made me realize that is definitely something that I crave, and that does show me, it makes me feel really good, but I block it, and I block it because I don't give physical touch that much. And I don't give physical touch not because I don't want to. I want to very badly, but because I've learned because of lessons in the past. And this is where all the healing comes in. That's what's funny, is that because I've had so many scenarios in the past, I respect other people's comfort zones because I've had my comfort zone disrespected. And also, I've been misunderstood, or I've talked about, with the Me Too, not going to go all into that, but with the Me Too show, I told you about how, sometimes people, whether they mean to or not, they'll take things a little further than you mean them to be. You can sit there and joke around with them and think, oh, it's all innocent. And that's me. When I would joke around with somebody, it would be totally innocent. In my mind, it would be, okay, we both know we're just joking. I don't grab people inappropriately or anything like that, or sit all over them or anything like that, because I I definitely honor their space, but I have pulled way back from that to where I barely touch anybody. It's an energy thing because I don't want to be misread. I don't want it turning on me. So when I realized that the one thing, and that's probably part of the reason why that is the one thing that I crave, is because I blocked it out so much. But physical touch ended up being the one thing I crave the most when it comes to love, Now, of course, most of that is actually romance because, I love getting that from my family. But I also realized that growing up and stuff, we weren't a big physical touch family, but I was more of a physical touch kid that restrained from it. You see it's just eye-opening to me to realize that deep inside, kind of like when I was talking about the left brain, right brain thing on my show about my bucket list, how you assess yourself in one way and you start living that life and you don't tap into your other personalities and all that kind of stuff. And when you do, you realize you have a huge part of yourself that you're stifling. So physical touch is actually my first one, what I crave the most. B is quality time, which, like I said, I thought that would be number 3, but quality time is something that I really, really crave. And that means the most to me, is giving me your time, because time, we have so little time in all actuality. Life is so short and it can end at any time. So to me, somebody to go out of their way to spend time with me actually shows they want me around. They enjoy my company. They care. And that's with all relationships. So quality time is number 2. And for me, number 3, words of affirmation, which I knew that would be up there. I do need reassured. I'm a logical person. Like I said, I'm a literal person. And like I said, I'm working on that, but I take things literally. If you tell me things are going to be this way, this way, this way, then in my mind, okay, that's what we're aiming for. And I've had that happen many, many times to where things changed, but in my mind, I'm going, well, that's not going along with the program like you said. And that's really confused me and caused me pain. So being that I'm such a literal person, when somebody I care about tells me this is the way things are going to be, or this is what this is what our plans are, or whatever, I take it very literally. So words of affirmation are number 3. Number 4, of course, for me is going to be acts of service. Doing things still does show, but I thought that would be number 1. And number 5, of course, the receiving gifts, even though I understand that they're talking more about those little tokens of appreciation, those little things that people do based on love, not necessarily just buying you off, or that you're a type of person that just wants. Now, maybe there's some people who they just enjoy material things, and maybe they're even shallow who would take this course, and that would be the most important thing. But we're talking about what makes you feel most loved, not what you want the most out of different friendships, relationships, whatever. So my number 5 is receiving gifts, because in my mind, as much as that, occasionally a nice little gift or big one, whatever, occasionally to me comes from the heart. If it's something where you're constantly giving me gifts, then it seems like it's too easy. Kind of like where my mind goes is buying me off, and I'm supposed to just automatically, be appreciative just because you're giving me things when I crave other things. Now, flipping it around on that, and the story behind, should have turned my phone down, sorry. The story behind a lot of this as well, this personality, or this love language typing thing, is that these are how we respond. And a lot of times we give what we expect to get. So here's where it is important for, if you're in a relationship, and I'm realizing how important that this is, to either assess or have that person take the test and find out what they respond to. Because that opened my eyes as well, is that what I'm giving, and like I said, this goes right along the same lines of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus also addresses this as well, is that like we as women, we do what we would want done for us. We give that nurturing or that compassion or that caring, or we do things, we show love, all that kind of stuff in a way that we want reciprocated. We're trying to throw it out there to the universe to have it reciprocated to us, because deep inside that's what we want. Men thrive in different areas, and since we don't understand that and we don't try to put ourselves in their minds, and this is talking romance, because we're talking Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, that's where we're making the biggest mistakes. And that's where I make a huge mistake, is I always throw out there what I want in return, what would make me feel good. or what I feel that they need or what I feel that they want. And I might not be giving them what they desire, the nurturing part in love that they desire, So it's really, really fascinating that this is yet another arsenal in or another little weapon in your arsenal that we are creating to figure out this thing called love when it comes to romance and stuff like that. So even if you don't have, if you have a person in mind, then have them take the test and talk about it. I think that would be really interesting. Or if it's somebody, obviously, that, you can't ask them to take a test, but you want to understand them better and give them more of what they need, I guess try to take the test for them and try really hard to step out of your own shoes and think along their lives and possibly figure out, okay, how do they react? How do they react when I give them something? Do they react happy? Like, you can tell when somebody's happier. So that's actually really interesting right there. Come on, I say, here's homework. Maybe I'll try this, I don't know, at some point with somebody. Even family or friends, it's not just romance in this case. Write down or figure out with each of these love languages something that you can do for somebody that expresses that love language and see how they react. What do they take more seriously? What puts a bigger smile on their face? What makes them respond and come toward you instead of away from you? And I think with that, we can actually assess what the other person requires, what they receive as love over the other love languages. So if I'm looking at somebody and I'm sitting here going, I need those words. I need you to let me know this or that, or I need a gift because that would show me, that would prove something to me. Maybe they're the type, they need that physical touch. It's like the less you touch them, the more they pull away, or the more you touch them, they come closer, or that's what they respond to over buying them something. So this opened up so much in my head, which, I really enjoy. I really love, analyzing the way people respond to things and everything else. And I think that all of this kind of stuff, these tests and all this kind of stuff, actually goes really far in helping people understand themselves. This helped me understand myself hugely. Like I said, it got me even deeper inside in understanding where the things I crave the most, why I'm suppressing, why I don't show that as much. And it's like when deep inside, that's actually what would make me feel best. That's like me also pushing away love when deep inside I know that that's what I crave the most. It's just, it's really interesting when you really get down and dirty inside and figure yourself out. And when you come to things like this, like the 5 love languages, or even the personality assessment type, the Myers-Briggs personality assessment, how much you can learn about yourself, and in response, learn how you're projecting your deepest desires onto other people, or what you're suppressing within yourself for whatever reasons, and figure out why you're suppressing those areas. Like I said, physical touch part. Why I look at it as, well, I don't want to disrespect somebody, to be overly touchy, because I don't know what they would appreciate and what's respectful and everything else, when deep inside it's like that touching. And I'm not talking grabbing at each other. I'm just talking touching, a hug, putting my hand on somebody's shoulder, or them doing the same with me. That energy transference is huge. But because of different scenarios or whatever, it's like I hesitate to do that. Therefore, I kind of block it a little bit. So that was a big deal for me to realize that physical touch was such a big deal. So anyway, I suggest taking these quizzes if you are anything like me and you really want to understand yourself a little better, understand other people. I'll quickly go through, because I only have about 10 minutes here. Let me quickly go through. There's two others, and let me pull it up as a matter of fact. There's 2 other tests with this. The next one is called the apology languages. Expressing regret is number 1. Number 2 is accepting responsibilities. Number 3 is making restitution. Number 4 is genuinely repenting. And number 5 is requesting forgiveness. Now, those are the apology languages. That has another, that has actually another 20 questions, so we don't have time to go through that. But those are different things to determine what means more to you when somebody is apologizing. Because there's different ways to apologize. There's different ways to show that you or somebody else is really apologetic over something that they did. And I realized with this too, which was really interesting as well, with these different ways of apologizing, it shows, how do I word it? Kind of like the 5, personality or 5 love languages or whatever. It shows a different degree and feeling on a different level and coming at it from a different angle on what people feel will express their apology or will help the situation, help get their forgiveness and such. So I would go over it. Maybe I'll do it in a few. Who knows? Maybe I'll do it next week on next week's show. We'll do the apology languages, and then we'll go on to anger assessment, because there is another test. What I find interesting, who knows? I should have made this a 2-hour show, but honestly, I don't have enough. I can't talk that much longer to do it. I should have made this a 2-hour show, because when you combine personal anger assessment with apology language with 5 love languages, like our author here did, the combination of all that is huge when it comes to understanding how you're communicating and what you crave, what you need, what type of person you are, what it's going to take for you to continue communicating with certain types. It all goes hand in hand, okay? So, there's another 12 questions for the anger assessment, and let me see, how much time do I have here? I only have like 9 more minutes. I guess we can go through this one, but I don't really want to split it up, so, I don't know. You know what I'm going to do? I think that next week what I may do is give a general, I may do this, I'm not sure, it all depends on whatever comes up next week. I may go back and continue on this road here and then try to pull it together. Like I said, this Gary Chapman, I would love to read his book. I would love to actually have him on here at some point, but it's, like I said, it's all interesting. And right now, with everything going back to, here's how I'll close it up for you. Going back to, and okay, let me pull back here a second. I don't want anyone thinking that for me that I am so analytical that I have to read through all this kind of stuff, understand all this kind of stuff to actually connect with anybody. This is all fascinating for me. And what opened all this up for me was going through my own situations, which I'm a healing person and I'm in a healing phase of life like never before. And all of these things that come to me one way or another, whether it is pulling up Facebook and seeing a video from Jay Shetty, right when I'm going through a certain phase of life. These are all signs. These are all things that are coming to me for a reason. It's very interesting. And I can be in a total state of chaos when it comes to, let's say in romance. Let's just use it as an example. I'm not saying I am or anything like that, but I can be going through such a hard time in that way, but I could still receive all this information and be completely fascinated by my own anger or pain or frustration or chaos or whatever, because I can separate it and actually analyze it. And it's fascinating to me. So there's the difference, is that life is fascinating and it's really interesting to figure out how we tick, figure out how we got where we are and how to assess and understand it to heal it. It's just a fascination. Life is a fascination. Now, does that say that I can't go personally and connect with people? I connect with people all the time. I have great friends, lots of great friends, all different types. They would require so many different parts of this love language, so many different personality assessments, all this kind of stuff. I can connect with all different personality types. That's what makes it even more fascinating, is that knowing all these different personality types, knowing all these, people and how they might respond to one thing and surprise me. Maybe they'll respond to a certain thing and they don't respond the way I think they would, but then they respond to something else and I'm going, okay, it was no big deal. Now it makes sense. So it's just another tool, like I said, in our arsenal to understand each other and understand ourselves. So don't look at it as overanalyzing and all this kind of stuff. Look at it as fascinating information. And when it comes to me, like I said, through a video in perfect timing, it's synchronicity, people. And like I said, spiderweb effect, how everything affects everything, and things I'm going through, therefore putting me in a certain state of mind. And seeing this kind of stuff, which comes right into play, is just plain fascinating. Therefore, me being able to put it out to you, and hopefully you being able to connect the dots as well, and hopefully you being able to use some of this information that I've been able to come up with or find or even understand and realize within myself, if that opens you up to thinking along these lines and not taking things so seriously. See, that's actually part of it. Understanding how in-depth all this kind of stuff is to the point of fascination, where you don't have to actually take it so seriously, life itself, because it's so intense. And life itself is so complicated. It can be very easy. So this I choose to look into and understand and connect the dots and put it out for everybody else to simply help, entertain, fascinate, whatever. It's fascinating to me. So taking me back to all that, this just fascinates me, you know? It fascinates me, and me being my key chess piece, I guess, since I am my key chess piece, I respond in different ways to different things, and I sit here going, okay, pull yourself back from the response and figure out why you respond that way. Starts off being a healing thing for me so that I end up with the life I want, and it ends up being a fascination thing with me as, wow, you are truly fascinating because you understand now that this is where this came from, or, you know, this is what you need, this is what you require, this is what you need to fix. So like I said, it's all very fascinating to me. Life to me is so fascinating. If I can combine all the psychology with all the universal aspects of things, with all of these amazingly inspirational people, Jay Seta, Gary Chapman, who wrote this, the 5 love languages and the apology languages and the anger assessment and all this kind of stuff. When you start really connecting what people are connecting out there and just understanding how the world really works and how people tick, it's just fun. I mean, seriously, it comes down to, it's just fun for me. It's fun for me to start connecting the dots on some of this. And also, ultimately, it will help me in my future as well to end up with that great relationship at some point, you know, because I'll understand myself better. And honestly, when it comes to relationships, one of the main things that I have learned within the last year alone, let alone within the last part of my lifetime, is that it's so much more important, you know, to draw in the right relationship, and I'm talking romance, to understand and figure out yourself and your own issues first so that you can be there 100% and be there 100% for the other person as yourself, i.e. myself. Be myself to another person, not be there 100% to where they're taking and I'm just giving. I'm talking be there 100% where I've figured myself out. I can keep myself in check, which is the most important thing. Keep myself in check, and then I'm opening myself up to other people to feel comfortable opening themselves up to me. So that's the key right there. So anyway, I hope you got a lot out of tonight's show. I actually, like I said, I did, reading all through this and taking the courses and stuff. Go back to www.5lovelanguages.com. Take your assessments. I will probably continue it next week with the apology language and anger assessment and such, and continue. Maybe not, but stay tuned for Tiffany Lewis coming on next with Be the Change. And I will talk to you all next week, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on clearsourceradio.com. I love you all. Good night.